What's going on, CALIVEGANs, and welcome into another episode of the CALIVEGAN podcast, the one and only podcast, calisthenics podcast that focuses on helping vegan men build muscle, obviously with calisthenics, so you would only need minimal equipment and you can train from home. Also, the special thing about this podcast is that it's always Q&A based. So I talk about whatever you want me to talk about. And for this reason, I ask the people that are joining in right now, it's 10 of you, I can see there, it's 10 of you, to help me bring these live today forward and ask some questions. You know, you can ask questions even though you are going to be leaving in few seconds, right? You can give to me and help me move this episode forward. You know, just paying back to me a little bit for all the other content that I create. What I ask you is create some content for me by writing a question. You can do it in the chat box, you can do it in the question box, wherever you prefer to do it. So again, please, as you're joining, ask questions so we get the party going. Today is upper body. So something that's changing in my workout structure is that I am realizing, all right, that, you know, like, again, me and you are not professional athletes. And at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is having the benefits from training so we can get better at life, you know, and all the other things that we are doing in life, living life with more confidence, living life with more energy, right? Getting the benefits of longevity, you know, and living a long life without getting injured, and being able to do our favorite sport for long term, right? And so I am realizing more and more over time how important it is to focus on really optimizing the training, limiting kind of the amount of time I'm spending into training so I can work on the other stuff that are important for me in life. All these though without affecting the kind of the fact that I want to progress from training. Okay, I'm not going to be doing 15 minutes workout because those one don't work, right? So it still needs to be an effective training, and there are a few things that I've changed over time to make sure that I'm squeezing and optimizing my workout so it's time efficient. And so a new thing that I'm doing is that I'm not doing anymore push, pull, legs, and upper body. I'm going to be doing upper body, legs, upper body. So it's going to be 3 workouts per day. The volume is the same. The only difference is that, yes, there is a little bit of extra fatigue that builds up for, let's say, the pulling muscles, because I'm doing both pulling and pushing muscle. There's a little bit of extra fatigue, and so less focus in one rather than the other. But overall, I think it makes no difference. Even pro athletes, and often they do, you know, just mix upper body workouts. So it's not necessarily going to affect the effectiveness of the training, but it's definitely going to allow me to have more hours that I can invest. In this case, I think it's going to be mainly in my business. All right, guys. So I'm going to close the live, you know, if you don't ask questions. So for the people that are live, even if you're leaving, please, ask questions, you know, add your grain of value to this Q&A by asking the questions. So after I ramble about my things, I have something to talk about. By the way, I see myself bigger than usual, you know, and I think that's coming from the improvement in my not improvement, but changes in my training. You know, before I was focusing on planche, and we said that planche is not my thing. My progress was too slow, and I didn't want to make all my workout based on planche, because, you know, at the end of the day, I want to be strong. I don't want to be a planche. I don't want to be just, you know, strong in planche. So it didn't make sense for me to spend more time doing planche. So yeah, so give up planche. Now I'm doing handstand push-ups, and I think that's already giving me a more linear progression. Where are we? All right, let's do first set. Guys, ask some questions. We have a few interesting questions there, but as you're joining in, please drop some questions in the chat box, so I got something to talk about.
Sorry.
All right, let's roll it. $30 assistance, and then going into, oh, I think, oh, I think my watch just broken down. Oh, there you go. I think I need a new one. I always make this mistake when I start with the too light instead of the medium plus the light. Fuck, okay, let's just close it like this. Right, so let's say not the best feeling today. All right, let's go to the questions. Good morning, good morning. So shoulder strengthening exercises. I had a super spinatus injury operation after, so you're already kind of entering a realm that's a little bit outside of my knowledge. Like, you actually had surgery, so you know that can be very specific to you, what you're going through. All right. So if you are back in business, so you can train again. So I know you would like to start training again. So I think the most important thing that you should be considering, because, you know, rehabilitation exercises are great to strengthening the shoulder, but at the end of the day, you're also going to strengthen your shoulders as you're doing your normal workout. Okay, so, you know, shoulder, rotator cuff, specific exercises are good, but by just doing the exercises like push-ups and pull-ups, you know, you're making those shoulders stabilizers strong anyway. So what I suggest you do is that you start slow. So you want to work mainly on your load management. You really want to focus on choosing exercises, or if you're working out at the gym, you want to choose a weight that you can really control. You know, you're not like always pushing and breaking the form. Actually, especially in the beginning, as you're getting back in your routine, your training, you almost never want to push it to your limits. You want to be in control of the movement. You want to prioritize the technique. You want to be mindful of your shoulder positioning, right? So for example, retraction is where we create stability in the shoulder joint, okay? And we just use the other joints to perform the movement. So you want to focus on that and just build up over time. You should be fine, right? It's not necessarily about specific shoulder strengthening exercise that you have to do. As long as you build up slowly over time, right? Be mindful of not being in pain, not making the injury worse again. If you find that sweet spot where you don't have discomfort, focus on technique, controlling the movement, and then building the strength again over time. You will be fine. There's also another thing that I'm going to add about having healthy shoulders after my set. Okay, he's back to work now. Weird. Woohoo! Almost dead. All right, so shoulder. The other thing about shoulder, so I struggled a lot with shoulder impingement, and I went to many physiotherapists, doctors, chiropractors. They did absolutely nothing. I think they were good with the manipulation for sure, but what's important is when you have these experts, they should also at least try and tell you some kind of diagnosis on why is this problem happening, and they weren't able to tell me, and I found out myself exploring more mobility and flexibility work, and I realized that I was missing a lot of range of motion in my shoulder. So I was lacking internal rotation, I was lacking external rotation, I was lacking shoulder flexion, and as soon as I started focusing on that, I started to immediately feel better, even just by stretching the shoulder in these specific ways before the workout. When I would feel the discomfort, it would make the discomfort going away and allowing me for training again. Sometimes I would get inflamed again. I'm talking about years ago. But over time, as I improved, especially my internal rotation was very, very bad. But it has it improved over time? Shoulder problems are not something that I am scared of anymore. Like I remember feeling, always feeling my tendon in the way, like in my shoulder, even though it wasn't inflamed. I would feel that there was something weird, like my tendon was touching the bone. And now I don't have that feeling anymore, but most importantly, I don't get injured anymore. So this is the other thing that I want to add, like make sure that you're, in general, you're talking about shoulder, but in general, make sure that you are concerned about the range of motion of your joints. You can actually look it up on YouTube, mobility tests, flexibility tests. There are multiple tests that you can do to see if you have a healthy range of motion in your joints or you don't. And if you don't, that's a really, really important thing you want to work on, because that's going to increase a lot your risk of injury. Actually, I'm going to add another thing about shoulder health, but it's again time for wrapping. I think today we're just going to match the volume of my previous workout. It doesn't feel like it's a good day to push it. And especially with handstand push-ups, you kind of never know how hard it's going to be, because the balance changes things. As you are doing one repetition, one rep, you're going to have to adjust the balance more. Another rep is going to come super easy. So it's okay, especially for balancing exercises like handstand push-ups, to maybe not have that very linear progression over time, because you're probably making sometimes repetitions harder than they should be because of the adjustments that you are making within the balance. So a lot of people just joined. This is a Q&A based podcast and live. Please, even if you're leaving, help create this kind of content by leaving a question before leaving. That would be amazing and would help me a lot. So going back to the shoulder health. So here's the thing. So we talked about the importance of load management, right? Okay, so you don't want to push it, right? You want to do things with good technique, the right exercises, and focus on progression over time without creating discomfort in the shoulder. And once you have once you have gotten in the momentum and you are rebuilding strength, no worries, your shoulder will be fine. And the other thing, going back to, so then we said also the importance of having a mobile shoulder. So make sure that you're doing your mobility work, especially if you're lacking mobility in your shoulder. And then the last thing is going back to your actually direct question about what are the best shoulder strengthening exercises. So there is a lot of things that you can do, but I think you can do but what I do with me and my clients to make sure that we are focusing on strengthening those stabilizer muscles is simply doing shrugs. All right, we do shrugs, pushing shrugs. You can do vertical pushing shrugs as well as pulling shrugs. Okay, that's it. You can simplify it by adding a band. Maybe you have your feet on the floor. You can make it more difficult to do them in a handstand position, for example, for the pushing one. But these are going to be great and very specific to training as well. Instead of doing, internal rotation and external rotation, those are also good. But, if you want to optimize, I would stick to like shoulder shrugs, pushing shrugs, pulling shrugs, horizontal shrugs, vertical shrugs, and that's it. Keep it simple, doing it before every session, right? Whether it's pulling or pushing session, always do pulling and pushing shrugs. And now we can go to the next question after my set. I wonder if I'm going to be able to do 2 again. Let's see. Maybe 3? No. Right, I'm going for 4. Not 4, but good one. All right. Next question. What material do you recommend buying for simple workout at home? Simple workout at home is not really my thing, so I am here to guys help you really optimize your strength journey. So I think you should have enough equipment to make your workout effective. Likely calisthenics training will allow you to work out efficiently with little equipment, okay? But you need some equipment. So bands, definitely the way to go. You want hard, medium band, light band, so you can play like I'm doing, right? I can use bands together to play with the intensity of the exercise. So it's important to have different bands. Obviously, a pull-up bar, and then you want rings. Rings will help you, like for example doing dips if you don't have the parallels, or you can have the parallels. These can be very useful because can help you create a little bit of progression in the intensity for many pushing exercises by adding a little bit of range of motion. And also if you get injured on the wrist, doing exercises on the parallels will allow you to get away the stress on the wrist, and you can keep training even if you're injured. The stopwatch might sound stupid, but it's actually very important. It makes the difference when it comes to keep you focused on the workout. You don't have to use your phone to, you don't have to use your phone to, start the stopwatch. So that's important. I would say that's it really for the most important part. Yeah, weight. You probably want to have some weight. I have a weighted vest of 10 kilograms. I have a kettlebell of 20 kilograms, a kettlebell of 12 kilograms, and a kettlebell of 8 kilograms, right? So you also want some weight. Probably won't need it much in the very beginning of your journey, but at some point you're going to need some weight at home. It's going to make things much easier. All right, so what we're doing, half lay front lever raises, and we did 6. All right, so I think we're going to do some hybrid sets so to start making progress in this exercise. Okay. Oh. 6 and 2. That's going to make it definitely more difficult. I regret having long pants now. I have some bad upper, mid-back pain. What do you recommend? I worked out for 2 years, so it might be a very simple solution for you, because especially if you started working out 2 years ago and this is something new, perhaps you haven't been working on your mobility and flexibility, right? And so you started to build muscle and create stiffness around your joints, in this case your upper back, and yeah, the solution would be actually just working on your thoracic spine mobility. I actually had also upper back discomfort, like especially when I was wearing a backpack. It was pretty uncomfortable, you know, and it was even painful for a period of time. And what helped me, again, flexibility work, specifically thoracic spike mobility. So there's two things that you can do. One is just twisting on the floor, and I'm twisting my spine this way. So I'm laying on the floor, took my knee, shoulders, I'm aiming for the shoulders touching the floor, and I twist my spine. And then the other thing is actually the extension of your upper back specifically. And you can do it by putting something, you know, imagine putting something on my upper back here. So that creates some little lift from the floor. So I'm still laying on the floor, and I try to mobilize my thoracic spine this way. Start doing that, and then might actually solve the problem. Oh. Let's see what's happening next. Perhaps nothing. V against injustices. È tutto il balance. Well, no, it's not everything, you know, the balance in the handstand push-up. It's just one part of it. In fact, if you, for example, let's say you want to learn the handstand push-ups, but your balancing is not very good, in that case I would say just don't do like balance-based handstand push-ups variation like me, for example. What you should be doing is keep progressing with some wall support, and then as you get stronger and your balance get better, then you can start implementing the two, one with the other. But if your balance is not very good, if you cannot handstand, do not mix handstand push-ups. I mean, how can I say it? Do not try and do your handstand push-up strength training in balance, because you're going to slow down your strength progression because your balance is shit. It's like you're trying to do a handstand push-up and you fall when you're down, or you're spending a lot of time to get into the handstand position, right? And you are wasting a lot of energies, building up fatigue, and that's not going to allow you to get stronger over time. It's going to create an obstacle, an extra obstacle, which is unnecessary to add as of right now. Love what you're doing, man. Keep pushing what you're learning. Thank you. Yeah, my back is stiff. Yeah. Flexibility is absolutely going to solve the problem if you haven't been working on that much. It's really like game changer when you start being consistent with your mobility work. Injuries are very, very rare to come, and all this discomfort start going away. Perhaps never disappear, depends from your situation, but they definitely become more and more manageable over time. Oof, oof, oof. Last set. Hello, my dear friend. Greetings to you. Hello, hello. And with the only one person live, I guess this Q&A session has come to an end. So if you are a vegan man who wants to build muscle, become more confident, and be a role model for the people around you, for the animals, for the vegan movement, however, you've been struggling to get results, it's difficult for you to find discipline, create consistency, and you're confused by all the information online. Most of my clients that have joined the CALIVEGAN program started from there. They were confused and they struggle to build that discipline. And the reason is that they missed an effective plan that gave them clarity on what are the action steps to take, and then seeing the results so they can be disciplined toward the plan and not just disciplined doing things that don't work, and then being motivated as they see the results. So I'll help you with a personalized calisthenics workout plan. I'll tell you exactly how to eat so you can be healthy and develop a lean physique, and giving you all the support that you need in order to go through any struggle and doubt that you have in your fitness journey. And there is also a vegan community with other men on this journey to support each other. So if you are a vegan man who wants to build muscle and you want to do it with calisthenics, so you can even work out at home and save time, just drop me a DM saying CALIVEGAN, and we'll have a conversation about your fitness journey. See you next time.